Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. This is a live broadcast. We have with us tonight, a pleasure to have the boxing guru, mentor, trainer, world-class Uncle James Ali Bashir. Uncle, how are we doing?
I'm doing fine. Everything's good.
It's great to hear from you again, Uncle. How have things been?
Yeah, moving right along. Boxing is boxing. Something to do every day in boxing.
Okay, so give us an update. What's been going on with yourself, Serenko, and Arun Vissa? What's the latest?
Serenko just finished a fight in Vienna, Austria. And Ron Vissa, he's fresh off his victory in South Africa. And I think he'll be making the first defense of his title late May. And Serenko will also return on that card.
Okay, so late May, you're saying, where will this be?
Well, we can't lock an opponent in yet. They mentioned some names, but I didn't feel that the guys that they were mentioning that Ron Vissa was ready for those guys yet.
Okay, so what sort of opponent?
Every opponent offers a different kind of fight. And like I said, Ron Vissa hasn't had an amateur career, so I don't want to put him in fights with guys that's awkward, guys that's clumsy, guys that's going to make him look bad. I want to put him in fights where he's going to learn hands-on experience how to box. I don't want to fight people that's got difficult styles yet. That's yet to come, but not yet.
Okay. There's a lot of fights we need to talk about. Let's talk about the fight that's happened recently with first Dillian Whyte and Lucas Browne. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't feel Lucas Browne was up to par, Not taking nothing away from Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte did what he was supposed to do, but Lucas Browne, if you look at his presence, he didn't look like a boxer. There's a certain look that a boxer has in his eyes, in his demeanor, and as opposed to the, very opening rounds. He just looked lackluster. And Dillian Whyte did what he was supposed to do. He took him out of there. But I don't think that fight proved a lot, as far as Dillian Whyte is concerned. Now, Dillian Whyte may feel that he did something, and rightfully so. He's the boxer. He's the guy that's in there. So I guess he felt a sense of achievement, which I won't knock. But looking at it from another perspective, a pundit or a fan's perspective, there wasn't much to prove because, this guy, Lucas Browne, he was just too flat. He just didn't come to fight. He couldn't fight.
What did you make of Lucas Browne's overall performance, the shape he came into the ring with?
I think Lucas Browne needs to hang it up now. And some people may say that's premature, but if he came into the match looking like that and fighting like that, what's going to come after that? Each time a boxer's in the ring, they display and make a statement. And Lucas Browne didn't do anything to enhance his credibility. He's a good puncher if he can find something to punch. But the way that he came into that fight, it was lackluster. It was nothing.
One of the criticisms, or one of the things that were put before, or one of the things that people are saying is that Lucas Browne only looked good because he was on some sort of substance. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree with that?
I can't say yay or nay. I can't say yay or no, but I do think that this substance thing has gotten out of control, and it needs to be confronted with a heavy hand. If you get caught using any kind of enhancing drugs, you're banned for life. That's the message that has to be sent by the commission throughout the world. If you get caught with any enhancing drug in you, you've got to go. That's how you have to do it. You're banned for life.
So I guess your thoughts about Canelo, are you surprised that they suspended Canelo?
Huh?
Are you surprised about the Canelo situation?
No, just because that seems to be the thing to do. That just seems to be the things
Okay. What do you make of Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker, that particular fight? How it went, the referee, and all the rest of it?
The referee had no business being in there at that level. The referee played somewhat of a part in it, because my thinking is when two boxers engage each other on the infighting, you've got to give them a couple of seconds to see if they're going to work that clinch out themselves. But if you got a guy that's just constantly jumping and saying, all right, break, break, a la Joe Cortez, a lot of other referees, Mayweather's referee, I forget his name. But you got those kind of guys. The guy that's always refereeing Mayweather's fight, they don't let the guys even attempt to work it out. As soon as the guys clinch, they're in there, all right, break. That's not the way to ref. I've been around boxing long enough to understand you ref in another way. You stay out the picture and you let the guys try to work it out. You say, all right, break in there, break in there, break. If they don't break, then you step in and separate them. But you don't come right in when they start infighting. You don't come in. You just tell them, hey, break it up, work it out. If they don't work it out, then you come in and you break them up. But just to jump in as soon as the guys get together, no, it's not the proper way to ref.
So in your mind, was there an advantage one way or the other for any particular fighter?
In my mind, it wasn't any advantage for one or the other. I think that the fight was going to go the way that it went. I think that Anthony Joshua showed Joseph Parker more respect than what he had to. And I think that Joshua, to be a guy in a unification bout, Parker, the guy, to be a guy in a unification bout, I don't think that he stepped up in the manner that somebody hungry, that was trying to unify the guy. I don't think he put his foot on the pedal and stepped up the way that he might have. He probably has regrets now looking back on the fight, but I think that he could have did a bit more to impress upon all people that were watching that I'm here to be the unified champ. You got to gamble. Larry Holmes versus Kenny Norton. Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. You've got to gamble. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearn. You've got to, when you get in that kind of position, you've got to gamble. You've got to put your nuts on the line and say, let's go, let's fight. But they didn't. Neither one. It looked like one guy was scared and the other guy was glad of it. That's my impression of it all.
Do you feel that Parker was in that fight and got hit early by Joshua and thought to himself, you know what? I'll just be happy to make 12 rounds. I'll be happy just to do the 12 rounds. That's enough for me.
No one can tell what goes through a fighter's mind, his overall being after he's been hit. There's some fighters that get angry and emotional and say, look, I'm going to do this to the guy. I'm going to do that to the guy. I'm going to come forward. And then all the guys get hit like that and say, you know what? I need to stay clear of this guy because I can get hurt. So it's a mindset that propels or expels a fighter from achieving or, otherwise.
Okay. So where does Joshua fit in the heavyweight picture now? He's unified champion. He's got one belt left. Where do you see him fitting with Wilder's performance against Ortiz?
I think that Joshua is the man, in my opinion, and I'm not, that's no disrespect, no slight to Deontay Wilder. There's no slight to him. Deontay Wilder has a very awkward and vulnerable style, but it works for him. It works for him. He's 40-0, I believe, with 39 KOs.
Mm-hmm.
And that style, that style is like a mixture of Ronaldo Snipes, Aaron Pryor, Prince Nassim Hamed, and olive oil, all mixed into one.
You say
you know what olive oil is, right?
olive oil, did you say?
Olive oil. Popeye's girl. You know who Popeye is?
Yeah. Oh, God.
You know the girl, his girlfriend was olive oil.
I couldn't believe you said olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil. You know, all of that's Deontay's style. It's all boiled up into one. You watch Ronaldo Snipes, you watch Aaron Pryor, you watch Prince Nelson Muhammad, and you watch olive oil. And it's just a mixture of styles that's very hungry. It looks very vulnerable.
You mentioned some fighters there. I never knew olive oil was a fighter.
No, but I'm just saying that this physical stature, the way she throws punches, you know, that's why I said that's why I threw olive oil in there. With olive oil flailing punches, that's what reminds me of Deontay Wilder.
Oh dear. Okay.
He's a mixture of all of those combined, but it works for him. So, but I would think now, in my professional opinion, I would think that Anthony Joshua is at the top of the heavyweight ladder. I'll dismiss the fight with Joseph Parker because styles make fights, always has, always will. So maybe Parker offered a style to Joshua, what Joshua wasn't comfortable with. He was very cautious with, and he couldn't perform the way he usually does. But you know, going forward, I have to give him the benefit of the doubt until I see him in the next fight. You know, but I do think that there are some things that Anthony Joshua has to work on right now. You know, to do maintenance on. You know, doing maintenance is you try to prevent something from happening before it happens. And I think he needs some overall maintenance on correcting some things that he's doing, or things that he should be doing. Some things that he's doing need to be corrected, and he needs to do things that a prevention program.
What do you make of this?
I can see a disaster get ready to happen with him.
What do you make of the progress? Go ahead.
He just hasn't met the right boxer yet.
What do you make of the progression of Joshua? Now, I think he's 21 or 21-0 with all the, most of the belts, unified champion, 21-0. He got
20 knockouts with 21 wins.
Okay. So what do you make of the progression? It's quite good progression, is that not?
Yeah, he's been taking some giant steps. People say that Joshua hasn't fought anybody, but he's taking some giant steps. He's fought the fights. He stood in places where Deontay has yet to stand in. He took on the Vladimir Klitschko, and that was a big step to me. That was a big gamble for him. You know, there was a lot of pressure. He handled the pressure. He came through with the knockout, and you got to give him credit for that.
Well, people would say that you lose Ortiz fight. Joshua could have fought Ortiz, but Wilder fought Ortiz, and Ortiz was considered the best heavyweight, or technically best heavyweight in the world, only bogeyman for everybody. So doesn't Wilder get credit for that?
Well, Wilder gets credit for that, but the credit was kind of nullified because they gave him that round when he was injured, when he was hurt. When they called him back to the corner, those seconds, people are saying, those seconds might have been a lot for Ortiz if Ortiz was allowed to continue. So they brought some doubt into the picture, even though I think Deontay was going to win the fight anyway. They brought doubt into the picture.
Okay.
When they took him back to that corner for like
okay.
Down in the corner of 5-6 seconds. I mean, enough to clear his head.
I'm not disputing that, but where I will say, and every time that's brought up, I will also come back and say, what about the Anthony Joshua fight with Carlos Takam? When in that round, in the 10th round, he was stopped when Takam was hardly hurt. And it looked like Takam was getting...
Listen, Takam was going to lose that fight. He was getting his behind whooped. Anthony Joshua was handing Takam his head so we can go on to another subject. Because Takam wasn't going to do that in that fight. He probably would have went the distance. I believe the fight would stop prematurely.
Yes.
But I don't think he was going to put a dent into the Anthony Joshua ship.
Okay, that's fair enough. I spoke to Abel Sanchez last week, and he made a couple of interesting points. Now, one of the things that I've noticed a lot on this channel was that Hughie Fury got a lot of stick because of how he fought against Joseph Parker. A lot of people said he ran, he wasn't ready for Joseph Parker. But Joseph Parker fought well against Anthony Joshua and didn't get knocked out within inside a couple of rounds like everyone predicted. What's your assessment of Hughie Fury now after watching Joseph Parker fight against Anthony Joshua?
Like I said, I thought that Anthony Joshua was a bit careful with Joseph Parker. I think that Anthony Joshua missed the opportunity to take the initiative to run Joseph Parker out of the ring. Parker wasn't sure of himself either, in my opinion. Parker wasn't sure of himself. And Anthony Joshua should have the mindset that I'm going to take you out of this ring. I'm going to come forward, I'm going to take you out. But he was too careful, too respectful. If Anthony Joshua had fought remotely, like Takum fought Parker. If he had fought like Ruiz fought Parker. If Joshua had fought the way that Ruiz fought Parker, he might have got the TKO, or he might have just dominated the fight. But he fought careful, he fought respectful. I think that he gave Parker too much respect. Instead of coming in with that, I'm going to take charge attitude.
Okay. Abel Sanchez also said that he believes Deontay Wilder is going to knock out Anthony Joshua.
You know, like I said, styles make fights, always has, always will. That's not out of the question. That's not out of the question, but I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. I think that at this point, my opinion is that it's going to be a good fight, a good close fight, and that whoever lands those punches early, whoever can land a sequence of punches early, will probably be able to dominate the fight and get a decision or get a late KO.
Okay. The other thing Abel talked about,
I don't say yay or nay on the winning factor because of this last fight. Up until then, I had Joshua winning the fight.
Yep.
But now that I saw that fight, I say, you know, it's a yay or nay situation because Deontay is a tough guy. He's a hard puncher, and he can make the difference. But Joshua can make the difference. Either one of them guys land clean, they can make the difference. They're going to really injure another guy. So, you know, it's a pick 'em situation.
So what do you think about the negotiation between Joshua and Wilder, in your opinion?
What about the negotiations?
Yes. Well, the back and forth, not being paid enough money. I'm the A side, you're the B side. I've got more belts than you.
It goes back some years when Eddie Mustafa was getting ready to fight Morgan Johnson. I think it was, I'm not certain, but I think it was Bob Arum wanted to sign Eddie Mustafa, and he says, if you sign this contract with me, I'll give you X amount of dollars. It was a lot of money. I can't remember the figures, but it was a lot of money. And Eddie refused to do that, so he said, okay, then you got to fight for this head. So he lowballed him. Say, for instance, Bob Arum said, if you sign my contract, I'll get you $1 million. Eddie said, no. He said, okay, then I'm only going to give you $100,000. And he took the $100,000, knocked out Morgan Johnson, and he became the man. So I think the same thing is what Deontay Wilder is being confronted with. I think that Deontay Wilder needs to take what the AJ people is offering him, because like it or not, AJ is the goose that's laying the golden eggs. All right? No doubt about that. So Deontay hasn't really made the big money yet, but here's a chance for him to make $12.5 million. You know, on top, you know, you got $12.5 million.
Maybe he should call their bluff and take the money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Call their bluff and take the money. That's exactly what I'm saying. He has no other option. What you gonna do? Say no, I'm not gonna fight for 12.5 million, and then go back to fight one or 2 million, or you can fight for 12.5 million. So he's caught. He's like in a catch-22 situation. He's gotta go. You say that you can beat Anthony Joshua. Okay, here's your opportunity. And get paid $12.5 million for it. Yeah, will Anthony Joshua get far more money than Deontay Wilder? Sure he will. But those are the breaks.
What do you make
of enough to go in there and knock out Anthony Joshua?
What do you make?
Be your motivation.
What do you make of Deontay Wilder's comments about wanting to see? He wants a dead man on his body, on his record.
Fighters say stupid stuff like that. You know, I don't think he meant that maliciously. I just think that frustration and anger and emotion, he said something stupid. You know, and I'm sure that he looked back on it and regretted it. You know, if he had a chance to clean up the situation that he said, he'd say, "I'm sorry, I said it."
He keeps repeating it though. It's not the first time. He said it in the Stavern fight. He said it for the Ortiz fight, and he said it since. It's not something he's regretting. It's something he actually desires.
That's because the people around him is now sit them down and say, "Listen, it's not a cool thing to say." People are dying in the sport, and that's because the people around him haven't got to him and said, "Listen, Deontay, don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. That's not good. It's not good for boxing. It's not good for the sport. And it's not good for people who are looking to invest in your career." You look at Joshua. Joshua's got Under Armour, Nike, Adidas. Everybody is knocking on his door, where he makes millions of dollars before he steps in the ring. Who's knocking on Deontay's door? And you wonder why, because of saying things like that. So his brain trust needs to get to him and say, "Don't talk like that. That's not good. Don't talk like that." He has to get somebody to look up to, somebody with respect. Don't talk like that, man. You understand? I always told Vladimir said to me one time, and I don't think Vladimir is a racist. I don't think Vladimir is any bit more racist than I am, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not racist. People are what they are. God made all the people. A person can't dial God up and say, "Oh God, I like to be tall, dark, and white, or tall, dark, and black, or tall, dark, and Latino, or Asian." Everybody are who they are because God made them like that. When Vladimir's going to fight David Haye, you know, Vladimir and I was sitting, and Vladimir says to me, he says, "Tomorrow at the press conference, Bashir, I'm going to walk in, and I'm going to say, 'David Haye, I'm going to beat your black ass.'" I said, No, don't say that. Don't talk like that. He said, "Why? What did I say wrong?" I said, "No, you can't say you're going to beat his black ass. Don't say that. That's just not the proper thing to say." And he saw what I was trying to say. He didn't mean it racistly, but it just doesn't. You understand? It didn't come out right.
Yeah.
David, hey, I'm going to beat your black ass. I said, "No, don't say that." So you got to have somebody there with the boxer to quell, to slow his emotions down and say, "Don't talk like that," because people are dying in boxing. That's not a good thing to say.
Okay.
You know, and Deontay is intelligent. He's intelligent. You just have to remind him. You know, he's a fighter, and his nature is to fight. His nature is to think like his nature. You understand? But you just got to remind him.
Just for a minute, let's take Deontay Wilder back to the era where Mike Tyson was rampaging through the heavyweight division and knocking everybody out. Deontay Wilder says he would have beaten Mike Tyson. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't think so. First of all, I think Deontay Wilder would have had a very difficult time landing on Mike Tyson. You know, that's the first thing. And then secondly, Mike was a master of getting inside tall guys and landing good hard hooks or either straight right hands. I just don't think so. You know, people will say, "Well, you know, because I'm old school," but
It says, okay, Mike Tyson after he came out of prison and fought Evander Holyfield. That Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, to me, at post-prison, he just didn't have that fire there. He didn't have the same fire. He didn't have the same fire. Everything was different.
Would Wilder have beaten that Mike Tyson then?
Like I said, I think that Mike has slowed down some. He was more vulnerable, you know. But people forget that Mike Tyson took a heck of a punch. Man, he could take a punch. Those punches that Razor Ruddock, I'm just talking about Razor Ruddock. The punches that Razor Ruddock hit Mike Tyson with, that Mike Tyson walked through. So I think that Deontay could have landed on Mike. I don't know what he could take at that point. Deontay might have had a chance. Post-prison Mike Tyson. But pre-prison Mike Tyson, no.
How would he have done against Lennox Lewis?
Who?
Wilder.
He get knocked out.
Why do you say this?
He get knocked out. Lennox jab would have gave Deontay problems. I'm not getting to the hook. I'm not getting to the right hand. I'm saying Lennox jab alone would have gave Deontay Wilder a big problem. Deontay was having problems with the tall guy out of California.
Not Molina.
No. Tall black guy out of California.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Oh.
I can't, his name always escapes.
I can see his name as well now. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He was giving Deontay he's handing Deontay his first defeat for 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, for 4 rounds he was fighting well and then got knocked out.
Huh?
He was fighting well for 4 rounds and Deontay knocked him out. Fight is the same way. I know who you're talking about. He's black and Hispanic.
Wasn't George?
No, I know who you're talking about. I can see him now.
Well, that guy was giving him big problems with the jab. Lennox Lewis' jab was much harder and much more accurate than that guy.
That's it.
Lennox Lewis was a good
Joe Washington, thank you very much. Joe Washington.
Joe Washington. Yeah, Joe Washington.
Thank you, James Sweeney, and thank you, Bad Guy, and thank you, Noble Cornflower, and thank you, Matt B. They've all remembered. Go ahead. Thank you, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah. He was giving him problems with the left jab. Lennox Lewis' left jab was much harder than Joe Washington, much more accurate and much more frequent. And Lennox follows his left jab with right hand. No, I think Lennox Lewis beats Deontay Wilder.
Okay. And Vladimir Klitschko?
Vladimir Klitschko, same thing. He had a good jab. Anybody with a good jab gives Deontay problems. Anybody knows how to utilize a stiff jab gives Deontay problems. For some reason or another, you look back at the Frenchman, the one that
Duhapis.
Big Baby Miller's giving his fight.
Duhapis.
You saw what he did with the jab. You saw it, right?
Yep.
You saw what that jab did.
But Deontay can't block a jab though. He can't block a jab. He can't block a straight jab. He pulls his head back all the time.
Look, anybody that utilizes a good jab with him is gonna give him problems. Anybody that utilizes a good jab with him is gonna give him problems. You see how Duhapis busted him up with that jab.
Yep.
He just can't defend against the jab.
So you're saying Anthony Joshua jab could do the job?
Anthony Joshua's jab is a good jab. And it's improving, you know? It's a good jab and it's improving.
Okay, and one more.
Personally, if I was in the corner with Vladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua, all the other stuff he was doing was wearing him out. That was making him tired. He kept throwing a left hook. He kept missing the left hook. You know? He
Okay.
And I saw that early on in the fight. He was looking for it.
As assistant trainer to Vladimir Klitschko, or have we seen the last of him?
I don't know. I really don't know. I get the impression that Vladimir Klitschko will box again at some point. I just don't know when. But I get the impression, I could be wrong, but my gut feeling is that Vladimir Klitschko, we haven't seen the last of him. I think that he'll come back and he'll fight again. I just got a gut feeling that he'll do it. I could be wrong, but I got a gut feeling that he's going to fight again.
Have you heard any rumors? Have you heard anything about him training or in that sort of capacity to train and fight again?
I know Vladimir is competitive. Vladimir likes to box, so he goes in the gym and he boxes rounds, 8, 9 round boxing. You know, he likes it. He likes boxing.
And they said,
so he'll probably do that well into his 50s.
And there was another rumor that was circulating around that at the end of, I think the end of this year or the middle of this year, that Vitaly Klitschko, I think he comes to the end of his term as mayor of Kiev. There's a possibility he could come back to boxing. Do you believe that's true, or do you believe that's all paper talk?
With the Klitschko's, anything might happen, you know. Those are competitive guys, and they like to fight. They like it, you know. So virtually all that, man, it wouldn't shock or surprise me if either of them came back to boxing.
Okay. People are suggesting that Wilder might be able to do a Hasim Rahman on Lennox Lewis, because Lennox did get beat by Oliver McCall and Hasim Rahman. What are your thoughts on that?
Awkward punches. And, yeah, it's not out of the question because Deontay is a puncher, so it's not out of the question. It's not out of the question. And they were awkward. McCall was awkward. Rockman threw an awkward punch. So it's not out of the question. Deontay is taller. So it's not out of the question. I wouldn't say it was out of the question. You know, I can see that possibly happen.
Okay, fair enough. The next thing Abel Sanchez said in our interview, he said that Hughie Fury is overrated. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Hughie Fury is overrated.
Your reasons?
I think Hughie Fury is overrated.
Why?
I mean, what has he done? What has Hughie Fury done, you know, for all the rave to be about him? He doesn't fight enough. And who is he mandated to fight? He's mandated to fight now the kid from London, from England.
Sam Sexton for the British title.
Sam Sexton is you know, Sam Sexton, and this is the guy he's coming back on. So who's going to win that fight? Hughie's going to win that fight. I can tell you that. Because I'm not sure Sam even wants to box anymore. Sam is a nice guy, but I think that boxing is in his rearview mirror now.
So what will it take for you to convince you that Hughie Fury is the goods, in your opinion, as a boxing fan and as a boxing connoisseur?
Beat a Deontay Wilder, beat a Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? Beat a Joseph Parker, you know? Beat them.
So the decision with Joseph Parker...
Almost tackle.
Right.
Dillian White. Beat those guys, and then I can say, okay, he's in the running. Okay. But he's fighting Sam Sexton. So, I mean, I think he's overrated. You know, I could be wrong. Maybe some people can balk at what I'm thinking, but in my opinion, he just hasn't done enough.
Our Eastern European correspondent Eugene's in the house. Eugene asks the question: what happens if Vitaly Klitschko was to activate his emeritus status? So it'd be Wilder versus Vitaly Klitschko. What happens in 2018-19 against Deontay Wilder, Vitaly Klitschko? Even now?
You'd have to lean. Yeah, you'd have to. Have you seen Victor Klitschko?
Now?
Have you seen his body?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen his body?
No.
Victor Klitschko looks like he's still in shape. He still looks like he's in shape. You'd have to lean towards the younger guy in Deontay Wilder. But Victor Klitschko is a very, very tough guy, a very, very determined boxer. Boxer, puncher. He's tall like Deontay. He can punch. He has a great boxing IQ. But you'd have to lean towards Deontay because Deontay's one. But if Bisley came back and had 2 or 3 fights and got into that mode again, this would be a good fight. That would be a very, very good fight.
Okay.
You know?
People are saying that, as he says, Vitali's too old, I think. 5 years ago, he would mop the floor with Wilder. What do you...
People got to understand that the Klitschko brothers have degrees in sports science. They know how to get in shape. They know how to stay in shape. All right? I'm sure they said the same thing about George Foreman.
Yeah.
The same thing. They said, everybody said the same thing. That Big George is crazy. He's crazy to come back. He just that, but he came back and he won every fight up until Holyfield. I think somebody else might have beat him before he won the title.
Morrison, maybe.
Holyfield beat him. Morrison. No, Morrison beat him. Morrison beat him.
Shannon Briggs. Well.
Yeah, but the Briggs fight was controversial.
Yeah, that was.
They were saying that Briggs lost, and some people say he won. So, yeah, but Briggs beat him, Holyfield beat him, Morrison beat him. But they all beat him by decisions.
Yeah.
And nobody thought in their wildest day that he would come back and knock out a young champion like Michael Moore. And Michael Moore, be mindful, he put a whooping on George that night. But George persevered, and he came back, and he knocked him out. So, yeah, the odds would have to say Deontay Wilder wins, but Victor Klitschko can cause problems.
I think now you've opened yourself up now about the Fury criticism or thoughts, because do you think Ruhan Visser or Serenka could beat somebody like Hughie Fury?
Not yet. I think the difference there is experience. You cannot erase experience. Hughie has had quite some time to get used to being in the top 10 fighters in the world. You know, he's like being in his living room, you know. He's more used to it. But once these guys get the experience, yeah, I'd put him in with Hughie Fury. I haven't seen anything from Hughie Fury that would make me leery of putting either guy in with him. I think in 2019 that I'll put one of those guys in with Hughie Fury.
Interesting. So what do you think? Eugene has a great question here. He says,
I think Hughie Fury needs to fight a guy like Joe Joyce.
Okay.
You know, go out there and beat a Joe Joyce, and then I can. I mean, Joe Joyce only got 2-3 fights, and Joe Joyce is looking for somebody to fight. So I think that Hughie Fury fighting Joe Joyce would be a good fight. Go out there and beat Joe Joyce, and then I can say, yeah, Hughie Fury is in the running. But I'm taking these guys, Roy Visser and Vlad Serenko. I'm looking for those guys to step up in 2019.
What fight do you think for Ruhan Visser and Vlad Serenko, the type of guy that you think, okay, now you've beat him, or you've got to beat him. Once you've beat him, I think you're ready for a world title shot, or you're ready for world level. What sort of guy do you think that would be?
Takum, Chisora. Carlos Takum and Chisora.
But do you think by the time Serenko or Visser gets to Takum or even Chisora, they would even pass their best?
Well, I mean, you know, Roy Visser's guy is 15-1, and Vlad Serenko is 6-0.
So
with the education that I'm giving these guys, I told them from the beginning, I expect a lot from this. I expect a lot from of Lazarenko. I don't want to baby these guys. I want to put these guys in the fire to see if they can fight, if they will fight.
So wait.
I want to put them in with those guys.
So you're suggesting you're going to try and take Serenko the similar route to how David Haye is taking Joe Joyce at the moment.
Serenko has had a lot of amateur experience. Yeah, Serenko's a tough, hard punching guy. He's a very hard puncher, and he's educated. He didn't start boxing yesterday.
Something
once I get Serenko 15 fights, then I'm looking to fight the guns. The guns in the division. Once I get Serenko 15 fights, then I'm looking to fight anybody that's there.
Are you talking about 15? Are you talking about 15 bodies, or are you talking about 15 testing, challenging fights before he gets to?
No. Serenko, believe me, Serenko wants to step up. He wants to step up. He's begging to step up. I mean, he's begging to step up. I mean, Serenko's got his foot on the gas and brake at the same time. He wants to step up. He wants to fight. He wants the competition. So once he gets past 10 fights, then we can start looking for better names.
I remember what you once. Yep. I remember you telling me once that you compared Serenko to a cross between Holyfield and Tyson in style.
More like a Holyfield in style, and just power like Mike Tyson. But he has a chip on his shoulder. That's what I like about him. He has an air about him. When somebody's trying to rough him up in the ring, he gets angry and he wants to fight. I like his attitude.
Okay.
He has the attitude of a fighter. At some point, the boxer has to be able to fight. There's a difference between the two, a distinct difference between the two. And sometimes in that ring, a boxer has to become a fighter. When everything else not working, then he becomes a fighter. And I see that with Lazarenko.
The people in the chat are talking about Dillian Whyte and how much he's improved as a fighter. What are your thoughts from a professional standpoint?
You can't tell because of the opposition. I don't think they looked that good in the Chisora fight. And you can't tell from the Lucas Brown fight. You can't tell.
What about if Joshua were to vacate the WBA title? Let's say for fantasy's sake, he vacated the WBA title fight. Sorry, you vacated WBA and then vacated it so that Povetkin and White fought for the vacant title. Who would win and why?
Oh, that's a good fight.
Let's see, I could be a matchmaker.
That's a really good contest. Povetkin and White. That's a good matchup.
Yep.
And it'll be hard to pull a winner out of the hat on that one. That's a good match. That's a really, really good match. I like that. I like that match. I'll tell you one thing, that would bring out the best of both of those guys.
Who would you back? Who would you lean towards?
It's very difficult to say. I find it really, really complicated to pick a winner in that fight because they're so evenly matched.
Okay. What about Big Baby Miller then? Big Baby Miller and Dillian Whyte.
Another good fight. The three of them should fight, The three of them should fight. Big Baby Miller is right there. Povetkin, Big Baby Miller, and Dillian Whyte, they're all right there in the same class.
So would you say he's deserving of the #1 contender, or let me rephrase that. Do you think Dillian Whyte is a world-class fighter?
Yes. By today's standards, yes, he's a world-class fighter.
But when you say that, when you say by today's standards, what does that mean? Because people don't rate today's standards. A lot of people say. So
I think that Dillian White's style leaves something to be desired.
okay.
Meaning that with further education, he can become a better fighter.
Okay.
Because he has that look. He has that look. He has that attitude. He has that persona. He just needs to add something to his repertoire to become a complete fighter.
What about Pulev versus Dillian White?
I like White in that fight.
Okay. Any particular reason?
I just think that Pulev is after the Klitschko fight, he's not really stepping up. He's wild. What is he, 33?
Yeah.
I mean, 38, 35, 36? Where is it?
Yeah.
36 to 38? I think that he's spinning his wheels and not doing what he's capable of doing. I saw a lot of capability going into the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Then after that, he's just flat to me.
Okay.
I like Dillian White by decision in that fight.
Okay. Now, talking about the cousin of Hughie Fury, Tyson Fury, Abel Sanchez had a few things to say. First of all, he wasn't impressed with the fact that Tyson's left Peter Fury to join his new trainer, Ben Davidson. I think that's not a very good move. What's your thoughts on the situation? First of all, Tyson Fury's come back. He's fighting June the 9th. And now him leaving Peter Fury.
I've seen Tyson work with his new trainer. And I'm with Abel on that. I think that he made a big mistake, I think he made a big mistake. I'm not saying that the guy, Ben Davis, is not a good trainer, but I think he needs more development. I think he needs to grow a bit in boxing before he takes on the role as the chief trainer. So I'm with Abel on that. I think he made a big mistake vacating Peter Fury for Ben Davis. I think he made a big mistake there. I think it's going to hold him back. The minute that you can't tell until some crisis is confronting the fighter. And I think it's going to happen in one of these fights.
Now, I mentioned this. I made exactly the same statement. You don't know how good you've got a relationship or how good your trainer is until you meet a crisis. I made this out in this video I did as an analysis. A lot of people out there that believe Tyson's the king. He'll just come back. He'll walk into Anthony Joshua. He'll beat Anthony Joshua up and he'll become champion again. I'm saying, look, it's not as simple as that. It's not as straightforward as that. The guy's been out 3 years.
The style that Joshua, that Tyson was able to utilize him effectively against Vladimir Klitschko, partially because Klitschko didn't never cut the ring off. Klitschko never did attack the body. So there's a lot of pros and cons that can be mentioned in the fight with Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko. But I don't think that same thing is going to work with Anthony Joshua. Joshua is too young, too keen, and he's a student of the game. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I said the same things.
Able to do the same thing he did with Vladimir Klitschko with Anthony Joshua.
I said these same things in my video. I said, listen, if you're expecting Tyson to come back, win the title just like that, and I said what I expect him to do is fight 3 or 4 guys, get himself in some sort of fighting shape, meaning get himself back in the ring again. He's not going to fight no killers. Get himself back 3 or 4 fights, and then potentially step up into world class again. I can see that. I don't see him fighting in world class again until 2019. Forget it happened end of this year, 2019. Your thoughts?
I just don't see him coming back after losing all of that weight, after all the time he's been out. He's going to come back. He's going to beat Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. It doesn't work like that. Joshua is just right around the corner from being a complete fighter.
Okay. The other thing people are saying, can you just for a second talk about the difference between leaving a trainer like Peter Fury to go to someone like Ben Davidson, in the sense that, you know, people think that now Tyson's training better now, and he looks better now than he did under Peter. And I said we need to have a ear of caution. What are your thoughts about this in terms of changing trainers and the dynamics?
You know, boxers are strange people. They're very strange. Different things make different boxers comfortable. They may know that the trainer that they've chosen may not be on the level of their previous trainer, but for some reason of all, they feel more comfortable. And when a guy finds comfortable with another guy, then that's what they rest their hat on. You can't force comfortability on any fighter. You know, when they find that comfort zone, and then coupled with that, you say, Tyson's probably thinking, I know this from the amateurs. I've had this many pro fights. I don't need a trainer. I know what to do in the ring. All I need is somebody in that corner that makes me feel comfortable, and I'm going to do it. And that's all well and good until they're confronted with some kind of crisis. When they're confronted with that crisis, and they need critical information inside of 1 minute. 1 minute. And guys always say, oh, I'm capable of doing it, I'm capable of doing it, until they're confronted with that crisis. And when they're confronted with that crisis, they always fail.
I said all this. All of this I've said all these things, but boxing.
They always, when the crisis come, they fail. The average one always fail when that crisis comes. So, you know, he chose that guy, but I would have chosen him over Peter Fury. I'm not buying it. It's two guys. I never like working with other trainers.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 guys in boxing that I don't mind working with. It's Peter Fury, Joey Gamache, and Abel Sanchez. Those 3 guys. And I won't say why, but those are 3 guys that if I ever work with trainers, I can work with those guys. I won't reveal why, you know.
I would love. Having watched Peter Fury up close, and of course I've yet to see you up close. We were going to do it, myself and you. I want to see you up close working, and then I'd love to see Abel Sanchez work up close and see these 3 scientists at work and put them in a room together and see what they would conjure up. It would be absolutely amazing, absolute art. Listen to the 3 trainers' philosophies of boxing. It would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you know, I like those guys. You know, I like those guys. Out of all the trainers that's out there right now, Abel Sanchez and Peter Fury, you know, those are my guys.
I guess BWTM sports are spoilt when it comes to world-class trainers. Peter Fury, Abel Sanchez, and yourself.
Well, you know, if I'm mentioned in the same breath with Peter Fury and Abel Sanchez, then that's a good plus, big plus for me, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful and I'm thankful.
Absolutely, Uncle. Let's move on. So, what you're making of the Tyson Fury comeback, in your opinion? We've talked about his trainer and losing the weight, but what's your thoughts and where do you think it ends up?
Say that question again.
I know we've talked about Tyson Fury losing weight and the trainer, the split and change of trainer. Why do you think as well, do you think he went to Frank Warren instead of Eddie Hearn?
I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, let me change it. Right. What do you, in your opinion, from watching many years of boxing and seeing guys being out of the ring for so long and then making comebacks, do you think that Tyson Fury can come back as good or even better than he was against Klitschko?
I won't say yeah or nay on that question, but he's a young guy. He's enthusiastic about boxing, and mentality makes the difference in
Yes.
And then he's been out what? He's been out 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult.
One of the other things I kind of caution boxing fans about is how did he treat his body over the 3 years when he was out of the ring, out of boxing? Was he in the gym all the time? Was he partying all the time? Was he taking lots of drink? Was he using drugs? What was he doing?
That has to be factored in.
I said this.
That has to be factored in, you know.
How much
that itself has to be factored in.
How much of this is a factor in terms of how you look after your body outside the ring? Because I said that fighters can put on years outside of the ring just by eating and drinking and not living the lifestyle outside the ring. So when they get back in the ring, they may be 28, but they may have a 38-year-old's body because they've been partying and drinking and boozing and messing around instead of living their life.
When is he scheduled to fight? When is he scheduled to fight?
June the 9th.
It's a long time. That's 3 years. Does he have an opponent?
We still don't know the opponent yet. There have been rumors about Shannon Briggs. I've heard a rumor about Antonio Tarver. I don't know.
Well, if he gets the proper opponents coming back, he could work his way back into shape, but he's going to need some work. A boxing ring is a whole different world. You know, once the people say seconds out and you're in it by yourself, it's a whole different world. Just getting through 3 minutes. Not talking about 12 rounds, 10 rounds. We're talking about 3 minutes. Round by round. It's not easy. It's not just for somebody that's never been in there. Somebody that's never boxed. Or somebody has been hit. You're ducking, you're dodging, you're wrestling, you're pushing, you're shoving. It's not easy just to get through those rounds. I see people all the time say, oh man, they only been out there 2-3 rounds and he's huffing and puffing already. They just don't know. They have no concept of what goes on inside that ring. It's the loneliest place in the world when you're not in shape.
Okay. In terms of having a trainer, I've seen this a lot in boxing where fighters leave trainers that have pushed them to the limit and disciplined them. They've got to the top of the mountain, they've become world champion, and then they pick a trainer that hasn't really got that much experience. And then what ends up happening is the fighter that may have an Olympic gold, they've won the world championship, they feel now that they're the boss, they know everything about boxing, and then they employ this rookie trainer, so they tell the trainer what to do. So that therefore they don't come into the gym, they don't train the same way, they're not disciplined the same way, and they're under the illusion that the trainer is just as hard, but really the trainer is allowing them to cut corners. What are your thoughts on this?
Like I said before, you know, you have guys who have vast amount of experience. Then they have the pro fights. And then they've seen the approach to boxing from this trainer, from that trainer, from this trainer, from that trainer, probably from their early teens or early age. And then they feel that, you know, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm the one that's in there. I know when to turn left, when right, to turn right, and when to go straight. So I don't need a big name trainer. You know, I can take a guy that knows a little about boxing, and I can go a long way. You know, I can go a long way at a cheaper price, or whatever the case fighters with different temperaments, different outlooks, and they don't. Sometimes some guys never confess that they need the trainer. They fail all the way through before they concede that, you know, I need that trainer. But that's the nature of boxing. That's the nature of the sport that we in.
J124 asked the question, what do you think of road work because Deontay Wilder doesn't believe and doesn't do it?
I'm with Deontay. I agree with Deontay. I don't believe that road work is the holy grail for a fighter prepare for fights.
You're not a long distance runner.
Nah.
Exactly.
This is not a marathon. This is boxing.
There you go. See?
I got my own principle about how to train a boxer and have him in superb condition to go into a ring. I have my boxers in superb condition when that bell rings. I don't like it. I don't stop it. I would advise any boxer, don't run. You don't have to do road work. I always advise my boxers. If they go past this and, well, look, I like to do road work, I say, okay, go ahead. I'm not going to try to stop you, you know? But my suggestion to you is that you don't need to do that.
Exactly.
You know, I did road work for years. Now my knees, my hips, my lower back, all that stuff hurts now. And I know where it's from. It's from doing that road work. Running up hills backwards, sideways, all that stuff. You're running on hard ground.
Exactly.
The ground's not going to break down. It's going to break you down.
Let me ask you a question. Let me turn it this way. Could you...
Wait. The great Georgie Benton.
Yep.
Trained Meldrick Taylor, Pernell Whitaker, Evander Holyfield. He never allowed his boxers to run. Georgie told me, said, I never allow my boxers to run. I never allowed to do it. He said, I didn't run when I was a top middleweight boxer in the world. I did not run. This is what the great George Benton told me. Even before that, I didn't let my boxers run because I knew what I had experienced. But when George told me that day, I said, He was the first and only trainer that ever told me that day. I said, I like that. And I was doing that before George told me that day. But when George told me that day, I said, I knew I was right. In the back of my mind, I didn't say it to him, but in the back of my mind, I said, I knew I was right for not doing it. So, yeah, I'm with Deontay. I don't like it. Especially with the big guys. I don't like that.
What about making that?
I got exercises that I do with the boxers right beside the gym that will have them just as prepared for any bout that they hit. I got exercises. And when they finish that exercise, they'll be running away from me. That's right.
I can believe you as well.
With the exercise that I give to prepare a boxer stamina and agility, when I finish with that exercise, they will run. They don't hang around the gym. They put their clothes on, they get out the gym as quickly as possible. I ask them to do something else. So running is not the holy grail to prepare for a fight.
Another I'd like to ask you about body sparring. What are your thoughts on body sparring? So there's no head sparring.
Body sparring, what's that?
Well, basically, it was something they did a lot in Sheffield. Well, the Naz gym, they just sparred to the body. They didn't do any head shots.
You know, I try to keep. You know, I don't want to condemn somebody's style or somebody's doctrine because for me to condemn something without understanding why somebody's doing it is wrong. But I think it's neither here nor there. You know, I try to get my guys in the gym. And I try to relate to them the things that's going to be essential in the fight itself. I don't want to do nothing that we're not going to do. Some people say, oh, we should go 60s. We should go 5-minute rounds, 6-minute. No. I don't want to go 5-minute rounds. I don't want to go 4-minute rounds. I don't want to go 2-minute rounds. I want to go 3-minute rounds, 1 minute in the corner. I want to do everything we're going to do the night of the fight. When those lights come down, when the big lights come down,
practice what you do. Absolutely.
I want to train to prepare their body and mind for the fight, nothing more, nothing less.
You train as you prepare, as you mean to prepare for a fight to win. Your preparation is everything.
And that preparation is body and head.
Okay. What about this thing about sex before fights? What are your thoughts on that? Is it true?
In my opinion, I wouldn't have a guy to do that. There's some guys say, man, I have sex and I'm good, you know? Yeah, okay. Okay. You're good because you haven't been in there with a guy like Aaron Pryor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're good. You be in there with a guy like Aaron Pryor, and you're not no good.
Exactly.
Because when the bell rings, Aaron Pryor, Henry Armstrong, they're holding you like a lawnmower.
Exactly.
And that's when you say, damn, I shouldn't have been having sex because my legs are gone, my stamina is gone, my punching power is gone, my arms are dropping.
Yep.
You understand? Because sex takes it out of you.
Absolutely.
Most people don't know that when you perform the act of sex and a person ejaculates, in that ejaculation, there's 10 to 12 drops of blood that goes into that ejaculation. Most people don't even know that. And when you do that, when you have that, when you perform that ejaculation, it drains you. It drains you. That's why you're immobilized after that. At least for a half hour, an hour. You know, you're immobilized. You don't want to do nothing. So how can you have sex and then come and box 30 days and you say you training for 30 days and you had sex 4 or 5 times? That's taken away from your stamina. That's taken from your overall ability to perform. So my thinking is that you abstain for the 4 to 6 weeks. Abstain. And then they have a notion, they call it being cock strong.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When your sperm is backed up into your chest and your arms and your back, and you're strong, you're at your peak, and you're ready for combat.
Mm.
You got to prepare your body for combat. You're getting hit on the arms, you're hitting the chest, the stomach, and stuff. Your body is prepared because you prepared it. You can't get prepared. You can't get hard if you're having sex. So no, I don't like that. I don't play that stuff. I tell my fighters all the time, please don't come to me and tell me you're having sex because if you do, we're gonna fall out.
It keeps you on edge. Keeps you on edge. You've got that frustration. You've got a pent-up energy there. Do you know what I mean? You're on the edge.
It's not a death sentence. If you want to be an athlete, if you want to perform at the top of your game, don't have sex during the training. That's my motto. Other people say, man, that's not true. That's not true. Then they'll come up with some scientific
Bullshit.
conclusiveness saying, oh no, this is the reason why you could, because if you do it like that, then, you know, I don't want to hear that.
No.
I don't want my boxer to do it. I don't want my boxer to do it. Please don't do that, dear, because I'll get upset. I don't want a boxer to tell me I have sex because I'll get upset.
Well, that would also be the same thing for masturbation as well, correct?
It's sex. Masturbation is sex.
Absolutely.
You're releasing semen from your body. It's sex. You know, I mean, masturbation is the same thing as being with a woman. So don't come to me with that. I don't work like that. I don't want to work with guys like that. If you can't hold yourself for 4 to 6 weeks, then there's no sense you coming to work with me. Because every day that I'm in that gym, I'm trying to get the maximum from you. I'm trying to get the maximum everything from you. Because in a couple of weeks, we're going to be up in that corner, and I want to win. I want to give myself every chance of winning. And I want the boxer to be in good shape, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I'm going to put some pressure on your ass in that corner.
Have you known any fighters to say they didn't have sex and you've noticed it when they've been sparring?
Sure. They can't fool me. I've been around too long. I know all of the signs. You know. They'll hurt their hand. They say I pull a muscle in the back. They can't. You know, I pull a muscle in my neck. I know all of the signs. You know, and I'll pull them aside and let them know I know. Look, I see what's going on. Please stop doing what you're doing. If you can't do it, I'm out of here. I'm doing this for a living. I have no time to play games.
It's when you're doing a sparring session, you think you're doing okay, and yeah, I got it under control, it's all right. And then you bring somebody in and says, right, put the pressure on him. And then the guy's up against you on the ropes and he's whacking in your body and whacking in your head, and you can't get out the corner because you know what you were doing the night before. So you've got the wrath of the guy that's that the sparring partner that's on top of you, and then you've got the wrath of your trainer afterwards because they know you can't fool your trainer. You know, you might try and spin your way out of a couple of rounds, but you can't fool the trainer, and eventually it catches up with you.
I don't play those games.
I know.
This boxing is very, very spiritual to me, and I'll take this boxing very, very serious. I don't play games. I'm in there to win. I'm in there to take myself and the boxer home without any injuries. If I can get out of there, get my boxer out of there without getting any injury, I don't want to see my guy get beat up. I don't want my guy all busted up after a fight. And when you're not in shape, that's what happens. When you're not in shape, that's what happens. You get all busted up, all banged up, and you can't do nothing because you got stitches in your mouth, you got stitches in your eye, your jaw broken, your nose broken, your hand broken. Everything falls apart when you're not 100%.
Okay, Rashid says Larry Holmes disagrees. He said he always had sex before his fights.
What happened?
Larry Holmes disagrees. Larry Holmes said he had sex before his fights.
Well, Larry Holmes was a superb artist, you know. I guess he formulated a way to get around it. I'm saying that I'm a trainer, and I've been a trainer, and I don't play those games.
Okay.
Larry Holmes knew how to get around certain things. He was a very experienced fighter, you know, and he formulated a way to get around it, you know. But that's not something that I would advise any boxer to do.
Because people are asking the question, and I think a lot of these people are getting the realization that possibly David Hay says he does. According to somebody else, said David Hay says he has sex, but he doesn't actually ejaculate. I don't know how you can have sex without ejaculating. That's a
Okay, all right.
yeah, okay, all right. Let's move on, Uncle. On the subject.
So what was the purpose of him having sex?
Pardon?
I'm saying, what was the purpose of him having sex if he didn't ejaculate?
That's a good question. I've got no idea, but you know, David Hay.
And there's such thing as pre-ejaculation.
Yes, there is as well.
All right? It's pre-ejaculation. And even from pre-ejaculation, a woman can get pregnant.
Well,
so it's still ejaculation.
Well, no, it might have been David Hay 1.0, so it'd been all right because David Hay 1.0, so we're okay. But this is the same David Hay said.
I guess that's why he keeps hurting his little toe and his ankle and all that stuff. You understand?
Well, this is the.
David Hay always hurts his toe. His ankle is always something down there in the lower part of his body.
This is the same guy that got a boner when he said he was getting a boner when Vladimir Klitschko looked at him. You remember the face-off?
What?
Yeah, he sat down. He said his spider senses were tingling. He felt that Vladimir was trying to punch him at the face-off, and he said on 20, I think it's HBO, and he turned around and said, "I'm getting a boner." He said, my spiders are tingling. I'm getting a boner thinking about this fight.
Well, I don't even want to talk about that. That's between David and the people that were listening to him. I don't want to talk about that now.
Okay, let's move on, Uncle. But it's good education for.
A man getting a boner from another man. I don't want to talk about that.
We'll move on, Uncle. We'll move on. Moving on from ejaculation and sex and boners. We'll move on. Let's talk about and something else Abel Sanchez said. He says Alexander Usyk made a terrible move, leaving James Bashir to the trainer he's got now, and Gasayev is going to make him pay for that. Your thoughts and response?
Say that again.
Abel Sanchez said that it was a terrible move for Usyk to split from you, and he said Gasayev is going to make him pay for that.
You know, I think the fight between Gasayev and Alexander Usyk is a great fight. And if you recall, when this tournament first came up, I said to you
Yes, I did.
I expected those two to be at this point where they were going to meet in the finals. I think that Usyk is going to beat Garcia. Even if it's by the scale of his chin. I think that Usyk is going to beat Garcia. Abel Sanchez is a formidable trainer. He's been around the game a long time. I remember when he came in Detroit and did a tenure with Emmanuel. He's been there with Terry Norris and numerous other fighters. So Abel Sanchez is a remarkable trainer. He's been there. He knows what to do in any given situation. You're not going to surprise him. I think that Garcia is a great talent in the cruiserweight division. I think that Garcia can give Usyk all that he wants, and I believe that Usyk is going to give Garcia all he wants. I just see Usyk coming out on the top of the heap when everything is said and done. I think Alexander Usyk will come out as the winner of the Muhammad Ali's trophy, but that's not discounting Garcia. He's going to give it all that he got. Like I said, Abel Sanchez is a very competent trainer. He knows what to do. He knows what avenues to go down. The only thing I will say about Usyk is that he's going to have to be on top of his game because Abel Sanchez knows every single trick, every edge that he can give Garcia. He's going to apply that during that fight. He's going to apply every edge that he can to get that win. In some cases, that might be enough to win.
People have noticed that since Usyk has departed from your guidance, that he's getting hit a lot more now. His footwork isn't the same. He's engaging more, and he's getting clipped more. In the Breeders' fight, in particular, if Garcia is allowed to land those sort of shots, does that close the gap, and does that allow Garcia more of a chance to win by KO?
That's a problem that Usyk won't be able to get hit with the same punches from Garcia that he got hit from Breeders with. He can't take that kind of chance with Garcia because Garcia seems to be a lot more heavy-handed than Breeders. He's going to have to tighten up his defense a bit more because he took some hits, some really good shots from Breeders, and I would have had him boxing more. My game as a trainer is boxing. I'm not looking for sensationalism. If I get a KO, that's all well and good. Every trainer wants to get a KO, but not at the risk of getting my guys' brains beaten out or getting beaten up overall. My game is boxing. Looking good, boxing, entertaining boxing.
Okay, very interesting. What are your thoughts on the development of Usyk since you've split with him?
I thought that Usyk was getting hit by Michael Hunter.
He was.
It's just some things that different trainers got different approaches. Some trainers, they like that. They like that situation where the guy is sitting down on his punches and he's punching hard and he's trying to get KOs, But me, like I said, overall, I like boxing. I like to see a guy that execute punches behind his jab. He's jabbing the body, he's jabbing the head. I like boxing overall,
Okay.
That's what I'm looking forward to get out to teach boxing, the art of boxing. And like I said, in the Michael Hunter fight, Usyk was taking unnecessary punches, I felt. And in the Breeders fight, he was taking unnecessary punches, I felt. He didn't have to be there. I had him boxing more, using his legs, using his feet, feinting, working off the jab. Sort of like in
Okay. Question just been asked. When are we going to see Ruhan Visser fight in the UK?
I'm trying to get in the UK now. I'm trying to get in the UK now. I want to fight. That's a heavyweight that just fought in the UK. I'd like to see Ron fight. What's his name?
Cash Ali?
His name is
Cash Ali.
I'd like to make that fight. Cash Ali.
Cash Ali versus Ruhan Visser. Cash Ali.
Yeah, how many fights Cash has now?
I don't know. I don't know how many. Somebody will be able to tell us. Could somebody tell us how many fights Cash Ali has had? Thank you.
I'd like to put Ruhan Visser and Cash Ali together at this point right now. I'd like that fight. I really would.
What is it about Cash Ali that you've seen that you'd like your guy to fight Cash Ali?
I don't know, because Cash comes forward, he tries to make the fight, you know, and Ron is just, you know, Ron is in that venue where he's going to try to make the fight. I think it's a good fight between two big men.
Okay. For people who don't...
It's a test for Ron. This is a test. I'm always testing Ron. I'm always testing Vlad. I'm always testing him. I'm putting them in the fire. I'm putting them in fights that people think that they can't win, so that they can rise up and win. So they'll have a sense of achievement for themselves.
Thank you, Carl McDonough. It's 12 fights Cash Ali's had. 4 KOs. 12?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a good fight, because Ron is, I think Ron is 15-1 or 15 KOs. Yeah, let's put that fight together.
Okay.
Let's put that fight together. You know, Cash and people else out there listening, let's try to make that fight happen.
Okay. What about Vlad Serenko? When would we see him, and what UK fighter would you like to see him against?
I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about Vlad Serenko.
Vlad Serenko, Macy's Dave Allen, maybe?
I think Dave is a little too experienced for Vlad right now. Maybe not.
Okay.
Dave, one thing about Dave stays in the mix. He stays in the mix. He stays busy. You know, I like that about Dave.
Got a quick.
I'm sure we can find somebody in the UK to put Vlad with.
Okay.
I want to get there. I want to come.
How would Vlad do against Sam Sexton?
I try to put Vlad in Anthony's camp, and for some reason, it didn't happen. Because Vlad is 6'4", 240. He could have fit in Anthony's camp just really good for the Parker fight. Vlad is 6'4", 235. He could have fit right in that camp. And I asked Anthony, and I thought we had an agreement, but it never happened. Nobody never called me.
Okay.
I want to put Vlad Serenko in the Anthony Joshua's camp to see what would happen. I had Vlad work with Joe Joyce 6 rounds for 4 times, and that was very good sparring.
Yeah, just to clarify that, because a lot of people think that happened in London. That actually happened in America, correct?
That was in America, in Las Vegas.
Yeah, because people have reported it as happening in London.
No, it was cooking. It was cooking, man. It was cooking. Vlad only had 4 fights at the time.
That was around the same time that it was rumored, or according to Joe Joyce, he knocked the dreadlocks off of Bermain Stavern.
Yeah, I was there to do this sparring. It was pretty even sparring, you know. Bermain was chilling, you know. Joe was working, Bermain was chilling, and Joe was trying to work. You know, but I think that Joe will fight Bermain right now.
I did ask Bermain the last time we spoke, would you fight Joe Joyce? He went, what do I need Joe Joyce for? At my stage in my career, what do I need Joe Joyce for?
That's a wise answer.
That's a wise answer. Okay. Question here, because I want to make sure everyone gets a fair crack. Reverend Pickle says, would Len Harvey have taken Joe Louis to school? And is that the reason he fought Tommy Farr instead?
Ask the question again.
Would Len Harvey have taken Joe Louis to school? And is that the reason he fought Tommy Farr instead?
I don't know. I have to have some time to think about that.
Okay. And next question from Reverend Pickles. He says, what's Ali's perfect matchup of fights that never happened?
Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe.
Muhammad Ali. Not. Muhammad Ali. His perfect fight matchups. Yeah. Fights that never happened for Ali.
Muhammad Ali fought everybody that was there.
That's
so
what.
One of the perfect fights that could happen with Muhammad Ali that didn't happen. He fought everybody that was there. You know, Joe Frazier, Kenny Norton, Ernie Shavers. He fought everybody that was there. Yeah, you know.
He fought everybody.
He fought everybody that was there. He fought everybody that was there. Ali didn't turn nobody down.
He didn't get to fight Joe Louis, though, did he?
Who?
Joe Louis, because of the age gap.
Joe Louis?
Yes.
No. Ali couldn't fight Joe Louis. Big age gap. Huge age gap.
How would that fight have gone? Joe Louis versus Muhammad Ali.
Ali would have stopped Joe. Joe was a hard puncher, but Ali took a good punch. Joe was too slow. Ali would have boxed rings around Joe.
That's what Ali said.
He probably would have cut him up. He probably would have busted him up and stopped him late. You know? Joe could punch hard, but Ali didn't. Ali at that time, when Ali was in his heyday, Ali was a difficult target to keep up with. The average heavyweight didn't have that kind of stamina to stay up with Muhammad Ali.
One question I've always wanted to ask you. Sugar Ray Robinson's my favorite fighter of all time. And I was looking when he was moving up the gear. He moved up to light heavyweight. And I think the exhaustion beat him in the sun. Now, he got dehydrated. How would he have done if he had gone into the heavyweight division and fought Muhammad Ali?
He's just been too little. You asked him too much. He's coming from welterweight to heavyweight. He's just been too little. Ali would have beat him. He's just too little. Too small. Ali was just as quick as Ray Robinson. Sharp-witted. Sharp eyes, reflexes. I can't see Ray doing that with Muhammad Ali. Ali would have just toyed with Ray. He's just too little in stature.
Yeah. That's true.
Muhammad Ali was a very, very difficult guy to fight. A guy can be exhausted easily inside of 3 to 4 rounds. He can be exhausted trying to box with Muhammad Ali. Ali just gave you so many angles and so many different looks. You know, you can get exhausted mentally fighting him. And people can't identify with getting exhausted mentally. Getting exhausted mentally is that I'm getting hit and I'm not doing no hitting. So this is not fun for me. I want to get out of here.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to current day. David Price fought Alexander Povetkin. What were your thoughts on that fight?
You know what I told you before the fight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you saw what happened, right? So that's it. I told you before the fight that David Price would be knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. And he got knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. I knew it. He just can't take it. In boxing, the boxer's got to be able to give it, and he's got to be able to take it. David Price can't take it. I can appreciate his efforts and respect his ability and respect the fact that he had hard enough to get in there, but he just can't take it, man. And when a boxer can't take it, he might as well hang up his career. He can't hang up the gloves. There's no sense in getting punched your brains out.
Yeah.
When you can't, you gotta have all the attributes in boxing. When you can't take it, David's been knocked out, 5 times?
That last knockout was brutal. That was bad. That was really bad.
He needs to get his skates on and try to find another career because he's going to get hurt. It's not going to be good for him. It's not going to be good for the sport of boxing. He can't take it. I told you before that the guy was going to get knocked out by Povetkin.
There was a moment. There was a moment in that third round you thought that he could have done it.
Yeah, but like I said, people keep alluding to the fact that Dillian White got hurt by Dillian White
hurt Joshua.
Anthony Joshua. Oh, he had Joshua. He staggered him. Give me a break, man. That's what happens in a fight. So it's what fights are designed to do. But what happened in the end of the fight? That's what I'm talking about. Anthony Joshua maintained his composure. Okay, you hurt me, I shook it off. I came back, I knocked you out.
Okay.
Vladimir Klitschko hurt Anthony Joshua. Okay, you hurt me, I shook it off. I came back, I knocked you out. The name of the game is who finishes on their feet. Everybody fighting is designed. Everybody keeps alluding. Dillian had him in trouble. Dillian had him in trouble. Ray Robinson fought Henry Armstrong. Ray Robinson fought everybody. You know, Jake LaMotta. Everybody gets hurt in a fight. But what happens in the end? That disturbs me. People say, Dillian White had him in trouble. So what? Joe Frazier had Ali in trouble. Ali had Joe Frazier in trouble. So what? The moral of the story, that boxing is give and take. You can give it, but you also have to be able to take it to be in the sport. And when you can't take it, it's time to pack your bags and get on the other side of the ropes. When you don't have the package, and when I say the package, you got to have 95% of the package. The other 5%, you can slip, slide, and stay to the side and get away with something.
Okay. Let me pose this as a question to you. Had David Price worked with a world-class trainer in the beginning, i.e. he had Tommy Brooks at one point in his career, had he stuck with a world-class trainer, would he have had a more of and was managed better, would he have had a chance of becoming world champion?
Who? David Price?
Yes.
I think David Price just couldn't take it. I don't care who his trainer was. I don't think the guy can take it.
But his fundamentals, his jab has never been great. His defense has never been fantastic. Vladimir Klitschko could have the greatest chin, but Emmanuel Stewart gave him a defense. So
yeah, but David was really bad. David just couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. And he wasn't smart. He didn't fight smart. He didn't fight smart.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. The return of David Haye against Tony Bellew, the rematch.
I think Tony Bellew is going to knock David Haye out again, this time earlier.
Why?
I just think that Tony Bellew has David Haye's number. He's not afraid of him. I think that a lot of what David Haye did was a lot of what Sonny Liston did. Fear. A lot of people feared David Haye. I think Tony Bellew got his number. I think Tony Bellew is not in awe of David Haye. And I think because of that reason, he's going to win the fight.
What about David Haye? People saying David Haye being lighter. Does that make a difference?
Lighter? Him being light as weight?
Yeah.
Well, it just makes it less. It makes it it's good for the guy just carrying him out of there. If he's lighter, then the guy just carrying him out the ring won't have to work as hard.
The other thing is, I saw something on YouTube the other day, the development of David Haye's body. when he was before he got into camp, and how he's put on packed so much muscle on once he's in camp. He looks quite a small guy. Then he gets into camp, and he looks a lot bigger. What are your thoughts on that?
Boxing is not body beautiful. Boxing is relaxed muscles and being able to execute. Tony Bellew is going to stop David Haye again, and this time he'll stop him sooner. If David Haye manages to go the distance, he's going to take a beating. Tony Bellew.
How much do you rate Tony Bellew?
Huh?
How much do you rate Tony Bellew?
How much I rate him?
Yeah.
What do you mean how much I rate him?
Where does he fit in the heavyweight division or the cruiserweight division?
He fits at the very top of the cruiserweight division. I'd like to see Tony Bellew fight Breeders.
Oh. Really?
That's a good fight. Yeah, that's a good fight. I don't think Tony Bellew is going to go anywhere at the heavyweight level.
He's talking about fighting. He said he punches just as hard as Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I can believe that. But I just think that he's too light in the butt to hang out those heavyweights.
Tony Bellew, Usyk, he says he could beat Usyk too.
Bellew said he could beat Usyk?
Yeah, he'd find a way to beat him.
I don't know about that. I think Usyk is the best cruiserweight in the world right now. You know? I think Usyk is the best cruiserweight in the world right now. I think the only one can come close to him is Bashir, you know?
And
depending on how this fight ends up, it's gonna tell a lot, you know, because Bashir can fight. Bashir can fight. I'm giving Usyk that fight by the skin of his chin. If he stops to sneeze, Bashir wins the fight.
how does Usyk at heavyweight do against Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder?
I think he does very well because Usyk knows how to box. When he knows how to box, he can survive in the land of the giants. That was Maurice Harris' compliment to the heavyweight division. A little guy, but he knew how to box. When you can box, Chris Bird was a little guy, but he survived in the land of the giants because he knew how to box.
See, a lot of people.
That allows you to get away with certain things.
A lot of
Usyk
people.
knows how to box.
I know you say that, but a lot of people say, "Oh, he's not big enough. He's not big enough. He's not big enough."
No, that has nothing to do with it. Boxing.
Exactly.
The name of the sport is boxing. 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 Usyk is a master boxer. And this is what I tried to instill in him. That you don't have to. You're a good puncher. I always thought you're a good puncher, but you don't have to engage like that there. You don't have to engage like that there. All you have to do is stay with boxing, and that's going to allow you to win a lot of rounds. That boxing skill is going to allow you to put a lot of rounds in the bank. And when you put those rounds in the bank, it puts the pressure on the other guy to come out and knock you out. And the likelihood of you getting knocked out, Usyk, is far and few in between. Once you get out ahead of your guy, 6, 7 rounds, it's up to him to come and knock you out.
A lot of people are not understanding that guys who fight at cruiserweight would be seeing punches coming a lot faster than when they move at heavyweight. They'd have that cruiserweight speed as well, so they'd see the punches at heavyweight coming.
I don't think that Usyk is going to weigh that much as a heavyweight. I see Usyk weighing anywhere from between 213 to 217 as a heavyweight.
Right.
He'll still be a very, very light guy. I don't see him going to 220, 225. He doesn't have to because of his boxing skills. When you got those kind of boxing skills, you don't have to lay there. You don't have to brawl. You're in, you're out, you bounce, you weave, you're up and down, you pop, and you move. The name of the game is box. The name of the game is box.
According to somebody in the room, Aziz, he believes that None of the cruiserweights can win the heavyweight title. Well, I totally disagree with him there. This guy Aziz thinks that no cruiserweight will win the heavyweight. I disagree.
I can't hear who.
Aziz, the guy in the room, says there's no cruiserweights that will win a heavyweight title, and I disagree with him.
Well, that's what they said about Evander Holyfield.
Exactly.
That's what they said about Michael Moore. You know, you can't say something like that there because boxing skills.
Exactly.
Boxing skills is what wins out the day. And that's exactly what would have Alexander Usyk to do. Don't go out there trying to prove nothing. Go out there and box and let your punches and your power land when it does.
AJ, go on.
The name of the game is go out there and box. Let your power shots come through when it does. Other than that, you box. Muhammad Ali boxed this way. Muhammad Ali was no puncher. He was always out there boxing. And look how far he went. He was a cruiserweight. By today's standards, Muhammad Ali was a cruiserweight.
Absolutely. Ruben Guerrero believes that AJ walked straight through any of the cruiserweights, Gassiev or Usyk.
AJ didn't walk through
Parker.
Joseph Parker. So how's he gonna walk through Usyk? If Joseph Parker gave AJ problems, then how's he gonna walk through Alexander Usyk? Are you serious? Is he drinking? Has he been drinking while he's on the show? Come on, man. Makes sense to me. Joseph Parker was out there with Anthony Joshua for 12 rounds.
This is, I know these people. They kind of think that AJ will walk because he's got big muscles. He'll walk for everybody. He'll just throw 2 punches and they all fall over.
Let me tell you something. The Alexander Usyk that I know.
Mm-hmm.
The heavyweights are gonna have a big problem when Usyk arrives.
Absolutely, footwork, hand speed.
When Usyk arrives, the heavyweight division is gonna have some big problems. I'm trying to tell you something because I know a side of Alexander Usyk that those guys don't know. And I'm telling you something, when he arrives in the heavyweight division, he's going to cause problems. He's going to cause problems.
Well, you would know.
I see him winning the heavyweight title.
You would know because you've trained him. You know, you've trained him up to becoming world cruiserweight champion. So you're not some guy off the street talking. You've trained him. You worked with him. You've worked with him up close and intimately. That's why we love talking to people.
I know what Usyk is made out of. Put it like that. I know what's inside of him. And I'm telling you, when he gets to the heavyweight division, he's going to wreak havoc on the heavyweight division. He's going to spank a lot of guys. He's going to shut a lot of those guys down.
As he's,
I looked at a couple of fights with Deontay. I think I wrote somebody. I think I wrote Alexander or I wrote somebody. I said, listen, fall and break an ankle and just say I can't be in the tournament no more and go after Deontay Wilder right now. Because I felt, and I still feel that he can win that fight. I think he can go out there and win that fight right now, tomorrow, next week.
Aziz continues by saying Joshua outboxed Parker with no issues. It's not about muscles, it's about size and range. And Joshua has too much range for Usyk.
Range wasn't what won that fight. The fact that Parker didn't want to take no chances is what won that fight. If Parker rolled the dice, if Parker had an Evander Holyfield attitude, he could have stepped up in there and did some things with Joshua. Joshua would have never had that kind of luxury of a fight if that was Evander Holyfield in that ring. If that was Evander Holyfield that night that Joshua fought Parker, he'd be an ex-champion. I'm telling you, man.
Adrian jumps in and Adrian jumps says Usyk is not that fast lately, and I don't think he has the power, the KO power. Probably end up the same way as Hay.
Who?
Usyk.
Let me tell you something. Evander Holyfield wasn't no puncher. Evander Holyfield was a boxer. And look what he did in the heavyweight division.
I know. Even Michael Moorer. Roy Jones Jr. Oh, my good Lord.
So the people that's talking here, y'all got to go back and do your research, man. Don't come on the show and don't know what you're talking about. Do the research, man.
Absolutely, Uncle. Absolutely.
Have they gone to YouTube and watched Alexander Usyk box as an amateur against those heavyweights? Those heavyweights that Usyk was boxing in the amateurs is virtually as good as the heavyweights that's out there ranked in the top 10. You guys got to do your research when you come on the show, man.
I know. I don't think some of them I've seen Michael Moorer versus Mike the Giant White. Michael Moorer was what? 6 foot? 6'1" at max. Mike the Giant White was 7 foot tall. 7 foot tall and what, 250 pounds. Moorer caught him with one right hand, knocked him out.
You guys looking at guys' muscles and stuff and their physical stature, but we're talking boxing here. We're talking boxing here. I'm going to tell you something. Usyk has to go to the heavyweight division. He's going to have to be artistic in his approach to winning those fights. All right?
Yep.
He has to be artistic. And I'm telling you, it's not just going to be because he got amateur fights. You got to teach artistry to win those fights. I believe that he can win the heavyweight division. I believe it. I believe it. Will he have problems? Sure. Deontay? Joseph Parker? AJ? Yeah. Dillian White? Jarrell Miller? I think those guys will give Usyk some work. But that's not to say that Usyk can't beat them all. You just got to know when to hold them and know when to form them. It's the teacher. It's the application. Every fight is different.
Usyk versus... People asking Usyk versus Tyson Fury.
Very complicated fight. It's a very complicated fight. And I'll put Tyson Fury right at the top of that heap. I put Tyson Fury right at the top of the heap. I think that would be one of the most complicated fights for Usyk. You know, Tyson Fury, I think that would be one of the most complicated fights for Usyk. Especially if Tyson could shake off the ring rust and get back to his old self. I think that that would be one of the most complicated fights for him.
Okay, let's move on a bit. The career of Gennady Golovkin. Abel Sanchez says he didn't want him to fight. He wasn't interested in a Spike O'Sullivan fight. Obviously, the Canelo fight is not there. He wanted to fight somebody competitive. Tom Loughlin's having problems trying to find an opponent for GGG. Some of your... Exactly.
Where's the fight for? I'll pull him out.
I'd pull him out for May and try and get him to fight Billy Joe Saunders in September. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, but I don't know. September's a long time. I try to get my fight before September.
Okay.
Like Billy Joe in November, December sometime. I pull him out, try to get my fight soon, but not this date that they have set aside for him.
Abel Sanchez seems to want to see him fight Danny Jacobs again. But he's not interested.
That's a pretty exciting fight.
But he's not interested in him fighting Charlo because he thinks Charlo's disrespectful and hasn't proven himself. And he thinks Andrade doesn't fight often enough. What are your thoughts on those two guys?
I think that the risk, the risk factor with those fights, those guys don't have are not marquee enough for him to fight. I wouldn't fight them either. So they're good tough fights, but they don't have enough marquee value. So I can understand Abel Sanchez being the guy that he is. He's a businessman as well as he is a boxing trainer. So yeah, I understand Abel saying no, we don't need those fights. When they marquee value builds up, then he can be in it with.
Abel made a statement the other day. He made a statement the other day about African-American fighters or black fighters. And he said there are some black fighters, the style that they have are not TV. They're not interesting. They're not guys that come to fight. They're guys at safety first. And he thinks that
Well, the only thing that Abel said wrong, the only thing that he said wrong when he said African-American fighters.
Okay.
He should have said some African-American fighters. Because the Cholos can fight, and they come to fight.
Mm-hmm. Joshua?
You know? And Joshua comes to fight. Dillian White comes to fight.
Errol Spence. He said Errol Spence.
Errol Spence, Jarrell Miller. You know? Porter. Thurman. Those guys come to fight. So what is he talking about?
They make no sense to me.
I disagree with his selection of words. I understand what he's alluding to.
Yep.
But definitely in the middle, the Cholo brothers to me are exciting fighters.
Do you think
Williams is an exciting fighter?
How do you think Hurd would do against Charlo?
Pardon?
Hurd versus Charlo.
Hurd versus Cholo?
Yes.
That's a good tough fight. Technically, I think Cholo is a better fighter, but Hurd is coming around the bend. I like him. I like Hurd. He's got what it takes.
Okay. I've had a request for you, Uncle Bashir. He goes, Ingram, age is against him, but ask Uncle Bashir to watch Dale Spellman, fella from Scunthorpe, I believe, switches his Dell, D-E-L, Spellman. Deck Spellman. D-E-C, Deck Spellman, S-P-E-L-L-M-A-N. He's somebody from Scunthorpe, so from the UK. He's just
Send that over to me. Send that over to me, and I'll take a look at it.
okay. He says switches like lightning, doesn't move his head though.
The biggest thing over a lot of fighters that's out there is that they don't have teaching.
Right.
Everybody want to wake up in the morning, and everybody is a boxing scientist. Everybody wants to be a boxing trainer, and nobody want to pay their dues to learn the sport. And that's the biggest thing over a lot of fighters. A lot of fighters have some short range success and think that they're on the right track, only to find out they're not on the right track when they get hit on the chin. But in my mind, you know, and I always say, there are no boxing teachers. I'm traveling around the world, and I'm watching the tutelage that's being given to young boxers, and I'm thinking about the tons of mistakes that I see in the tutelage. Because nobody wants to learn the sport. Nobody. Everybody is a wise guy. Everybody thinks that they know. Only to find out later on when these guys get hit on the chin or get taken down, that I was with the wrong person. The person couldn't teach me. The person couldn't take me to the next level.
So, coming back to the thought about the conversation about Gennady Golovkin, where does he fit in your opinion?
Where's Gennady Golovkin fit?
Yeah.
He's the best of his era in the middleweight division.
What about Billy Joe Saunders?
Billy Joe Saunders is just breaking out. He's out of action for a long time, and he's just breaking out. He's a cutie pie boxer that can give any boxer problems.
Just to let you know, Uncle Bashir, that my dad is listening in all the way from Grenada. So he just wanted to say hello to you.
Yeah. Tell him I said hello. That's my man. You know, I ain't seen him since he's in London, but tell him that's my man. We meet again. God willing, we meet again.
Okay. So Dad, he just said we'll meet again. So so Golovkin, Saunders. I've always thought the one guy that could beat Golovkin was Saunders, and my question mark about Saunders was his stamina, but that held up beautifully for 4 rounds.
Like I said, Saunders is a cutie pie boxer. You know? And those kind of boxers can cause problems for anybody. I just want to see somebody just stand still long enough to fight Golovkin. And right now, I think that
Wow.
Nobody wants to take a chance and engage him with Golovkin. Billy Joe's a cutie pie boxer. He's there giving you angles and this, that. He can cause problems for anybody, but I want to see it.
Can he beat Golovkin?
The what?
Can he beat Golovkin? And is Golovkin on the slide?
What I like to say, Billy Joe Saunders would be a competitive fight for Golovkin. Can he beat him? Remains to be seen. It remains to be seen, but he's got the tools.
Okay.
He's got the capability. He's got the mindset. He's got a lot of things going for him.
Errol Spence. Kell Brook was in America recently, and he seems to want to talk about this rematch with Errol Spence, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. What are your thoughts on this fight at 154, Spence versus Brook 2?
I think that Spence wins again in a good, tight match. I think that Brook would come to fight, but to no avail. I think that Errol Spence is the new wolf on the block. I can't see nobody really doing nothing with Errol Spence right now at 54 or at 47.
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford is a good fighter. I forgot all about him.
I thought you did.
I forgot all about him. I think he would be competitive for Spence. I think it would be very, very competitive for Spence. Terence Crawford. He's the only one there that can really challenge Spence, as I see.
I've got a guy that could challenge Spence, I think. His name is Rashidi Ellis. I keep talking about him, Uncle Bashir.
Yeah, I think I saw Rashidi Ellis knocked out Eddie Gomez, I think.
Yes. Fast hands, good power, good footwork. What do you think?
I got to see him a couple more times. I saw him would knock out Eddie Gomez. I got to see him a couple more times. He's fighting that welterweight, right?
Yes, he was #1 U.S. amateur.
He's got good speed, good power. Yeah, I like him from what I saw,
That's the boy. That's my boy. I've been backing him. I'm going to get him back on the channel soon. But I'm backing Rashidi Ellis for big things.
Yeah, I like his hand speed. From what I saw, he had beautiful hand speed. I got to look back on him. So when you send up the information, what other guys send Rashidi Ellis over to it, I'll take a look at him.
Absolutely.
I saw the Eddie Gomez fight. That was a beautiful knockout.
Yeah, he delivers. Not. He reminds me of in some ways like a young Roy Jones. Ellis, speed, the way he throws his body shots and his head shots, the way he pops the jab, the way he moves around the ring.
Yeah, like I said, I have to see him more. I just recall that one knockout that he had with Eddie Gomez.
Okay. All right. So are you saying that Terence Crawford beats Jeff Horn?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Terence Crawford versus Jeff Horn. Are you assuming that Terence Crawford beats Jeff Horn?
Yeah, I think he stops Jeff Horn.
That's what I think.
Terence Crawford stops Jeff Horn.
Well, Horn
puts him in a meat grinder, stops him. Jeff Horn is a valiant guy. He has courage and stuff, but you need more than courage to beat Terence Crawford.
What do you make of Mayweather saying that he wants his guy Tank Davis to fight Lomachenko next? It sounds to me that Mayweather's fed up of him. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I got the same conclusion. When I saw that, he said he wants him to fight. He's fed up with him. You see it coming to the end.
Yeah.
He's uncontrollable. And Mayweather said, look, I got to get my money before I get out.
He threw him under the bus.
Yeah. He didn't throw him under the bus. He's just doing what a wise businessman would do.
He didn't throw it.
This guy is uncontrollable.
He didn't just throw him under the bus. What he literally did, he took him in the middle of the road, handcuffed him to the middle of the road, hands and legs, and then told the bus what road he'd be on, and tell the bus when to come and where to tie him up. and said, run him over.
But Floyd, I commend him on his business decision because he sees what's going on. So I commend him as a businessman. You know, these guys don't understand when you get rambunctious and crazy with a promoter or crazy with your manager, they're not going to do you any favors. They're going to try to get their money back.
Exactly.
Floyd said on one hand, he said, well, he's young. We got time to move him. And then in the next breath, he says, look, I'm going to put him in with Lomachenko next because he sees he's losing control. This kid is always doing something anti-Floyd, saying something anti-Floyd. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. Floyd took care of him. Floyd gave him a big signing bonus, took care of him. And the only thing this kid did is complain. You don't get somewhere with talent alone. You get there with ingenuity and smart business moves. So now the kid's somebody whispering in his ear, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, come with me, come over there, I'll do this, that. So somebody probably talking to him, Floyd sees that going on, Floyd says, okay, when we in with Lomachenko, Floyd's got to get his money back, and I don't blame him. So it's a wise business decision on Floyd Mayweather's behalf.
So
you can't just keep on wrestling with a guy that you're taking care of.
So do you think the Tank can beat Lomachenko?
No. No, I don't think he can beat him. But I think that he's in the ballpark. I think it'll be a good fight while it lasts.
Oh, boy. Do you think it'll be kind of like a...
People don't understand. People don't understand. I've worked in the same gym with Lomachenko in Ukraine and in America. And I'm telling you, I see people say, I see different statements saying that Tank will easily beat Lomachenko. Tank could do this and Tank could do that. It's not going to be an easy fight. And to add fuel to the fire, Lomachenko can punch. So it's not going to be easy work. People say it's going to be easy. No, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be difficult. And he's got to stand in. He's got to stand in and rumble.
So you tell me, how does Lomachenko do against Linares?
I think at the end of the day, he wins that fight too. Lomachenko, one thing about this guy, he's a workaholic, man. People got to understand the nature of the Ukrainian fighting. You're not just going to walk through those guys. Those guys are like machines, man. Those guys work on their craft.
Yeah, it's a different animal there, different breed out there.
They don't just come and skip the rope and hit the speed back. These guys work on their craft.
Their work ethic is second to none. You could argue that they've got the best work ethic in the world.
Incomparable.
Exactly.
Incomparable. And they understand that they have a bullseye on their back.
Mm-hmm.
And they work to complement that bullseye on their back. Those guys will say, yeah, I got a bullseye on my back. Come and try to land on it. So Lomachenko, Usyk, and any of the Ukrainian fighters, when you're in with a Ukrainian fighter, you better bring your lunchbox because you're going to be in it for a tough fight.
What do you think of Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko?
Good fight. Good fight. I'd love to see that fight. Mikey Garcia, Lomachenko is a good competitive fight. I would love to see that fight. I don't understand why we haven't seen that fight thus far.
Wow, Uncle. Wow. There's so many other things I'd love to talk to you about. Manny Pacquiao getting rid of Freddie Roach. Is it because he's at the end of his career?
I can't hardly hear you. Put your mouth to the speaker.
Okay, Manny Pacquiao leaving Freddie Roach.
Well, Manny Pacquiao leaving Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach has been with Manny Pacquiao for a long time. And he's made a lot of money and a lot of stardom with Manny Pacquiao. So now, Manny wants to move on. He's at the end of his career. He has a right to do so, No big thing. But Freddie Roach is so great, he can make another Manny Pacquiao. 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 He can make another Manny Pacquiao.
Are you saying that sarcastically there?
Yeah. I'm saying he shouldn't have no problem making another Manny Pacquiao. He's won the Trainer of the Year 3-4 times. So let's see him go out there and make another Manny Pacquiao. You know, I think that, you know, it's like a cliche with him. And he's had all of this time to shine over Manny Pacquiao. So if he's as good as what people has indicated over the years, he'll make another and another and another Manny Pacquiao. He doesn't need Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is an old man when it comes to the sport of boxing. When it comes to the sport of boxing, Manny Pacquiao could be 45 years old with those tough fights that he's had. And he's made Arum and he's made
Roach.
Freddie Roach a lot of money. So, look, they should just pat him on the back and say thank you, let the man go and make some money. It could be Manny Pacquiao Promotions now. Let him take the last couple of fights of his career to make his own money, to keep his own money.
This is a great opportunity. It's a great. This is a great opportunity, Uncle Bashir, to address the sort of comments that come out. And this is a typical comment that comes out. Bashir sounds kind of bitter here. That's what Ruben Guerrero says. Typical thing that's said about you, Uncle. Can you address it while we're here?
Now sound kind of bitter?
Yeah.
No, I'm not bitter at all. Just call it a spade a spade. What's wrong with that? I'm saying that Freddie Roach has made his reputation on the back of Manny Pacquiao. What has he done before Manny Pacquiao? What has he done after Manny Pacquiao? Tell Guerrero to answer that, since I'm so bitter. What has he done before Pacquiao? What has he done after Pacquiao? I'll tell you what. I think Freddie Roach is who he is because of the color of his skin. That's how it goes in America. Freddie Roach is who he is because of the color of his skin. You want to hear the truth, Mr. Guerrero? I'm telling you the truth. He is who he is because of the color of his skin.
Okay, then people would argue.
It's always more difficult for anybody else other than white people.
What about
America? That's how it goes.
They would say, what about Virgil? What about Virgil Hunter? What about Emmanuel Stewart?
We got one. Virgil Hunter. Virgil Hunter came out wide because of who?
Andre Ward.
Andre Ward. Without Andre Ward, where would Virgil Hunter be?
Emmanuel Stewart.
So you got one token Negro. Because that's what he is in terms of being promoted. He's a token Negro. Without Andre Ward, he wouldn't be there. Nobody would even be talking about Virgil Hunter. And can't nobody, white, black, brown, or yellow, say that I'm lying.
Eddie Futch.
Eddie Futch earned his bones. Eddie Futch, it's still tokenism. You understand? It's still tokenism. If you don't believe it, let me ask you something. How many black ring announcers do they have in America or UK? It's taking a long time to answer. Because there are none. What's up with that? Are there any players? Can they read? Can black people read? Can black people talk? But in America, there are no black ring announcers. Not on the top level. And it's not because they haven't been trying to get into business. It's because of the color of their skin. It's not as easy. I'm calling a spade a spade. You know, I'm not backing up. I'm not shying away from anything, man, because people earn a right to come out and speak about these things. And everybody just turns their head over and no, it's not happening. It is happening. I asked the question, what has Freddie Roach done prior? And what has he done since Manny Pacquiao? He got there off the back in the labor of Manny Pacquiao, a guy that could already fight when he came to Freddie Roach. And in my opinion, if it hadn't been for Freddie Roach, Manny Pacquiao would have knocked out Marquez in the last fight.
I've said that.
He was having things his own way. idea to go after Marquez, go after him, because he wanted the sensationalism of a knockout, and he ran him right into that punch. That right hand that he got hit with, Freddie Roach ran him into that right hand, and nobody said nothing about it.
Luke Hendin says, hence why Mayweather promoted and managed himself.
What happened?
Luke says, I think he kind of agrees with what you're saying, says, hence why Mayweather promoted and managed himself.
Mayweather saw what was going on with the Arum situation. He saw that he was getting ruled by Arum. He thought that he felt that he wasn't getting a fair shake because of who he was and what he was bringing to the sport. He said, I don't need this. I don't need this here. So he packed his bags and he created his own company. I'm telling you, man, you know, if people act like, people in this sport act like, and people in the sport act like racism don't exist in boxing. It's here. It's alive, man. The major players in the sport is not black, they're white. The powers that be are white in every other business in America anyway, and probably the same thing is happening in Britain. The powers that be are white. And they call the shots. They call the shots the way they want to call them. I'm just calling a spade a spade. He said that I sound bitter. Bitter about what? What did he mean bitter? Because I'm calling out? Because I'm calling what it is? Where are the black ring announcers? Where are the top level black management in the sport of boxing? There ain't none. Because it's not that easy. People say, all you got to do is just be good at what you do. That's no. You got to be better than good. You got to be better than good.
Some would say, well, look at Floyd. He's promoting and managing fighters.
Yeah, but Floyd Mayweather paid his dues. He paid his dues.
What about Don King? People would say, what about Don King? The greatest promoter of all time, they'd say.
Still tokenism. When you can say it's 35-40 Don King, then it's not tokenism. But when you keep pulling one straw out the hat, Virgil Hunter, Mayweather, Don King, what is that on the scale of all the black people that's in America? I think black people, they make up a third of the American population.
Al Heyman, the most powerful man in boxing, they say.
Yeah.
What about that? He's a black man. Well, I think.
Still tokenism. It's not 20 of them. It's one of them.
But he's the most powerful man, they say, in boxing. I don't know how true that is, though.
Well, sitting there, Eddie Hearn is one of the most powerful men in boxing. Frank Warren. You know, for every one that you can point out, I can point out too.
Because Peter Powell says Bob Arum's not white.
Bob Arum's not white. No, Bob Arum's not white. Bob is Snow White. I can get counter rebuttals all night long. The fact of the matter is that there's racism that exists in the sport. And it holds some people, a lot of people back.
Well, while we're here, while you're talking about it, we might as well open it up because it's here. Robert Guerrero, Mr. Guerrero started asking the question. Have you got any response to what Uncle Bashir is asking you? While we've got it, we can open it up. I don't think it's a can of worms. We can open it up. It's fair debate. From your experiences in the sport of boxing, what are the sort of things that you've encountered that you feel?
Put the mouth to the microphone. I want to hear you. Put the mouth to the microphone.
I said, well, in your experiences in the sport of boxing, now we've opened the conversation up and we've got a forum to talk about it. In your experiences, what have you experienced as a trainer that, or as in the sport of boxing, you could say that's not a fair shake, and that's because of the racism or the discrimination it's in the sport? Some people don't want to talk about it, and usually people that don't want to talk about it are the people that are benefiting from it. So let's talk about it.
I mean, I've been in this sport 48 black people get those positions. There has to be an open format, open dialogue, where people have opportunity, and they're not getting it.
So how do you suggest you move on with it then? How do we make changes to keep away from the tokenisms or the, how do we move forward with it so everyone gets an opportunity? Like they say, America is the place you can come to and make your dreams realized.
I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Just what my suggestion is to give justice where justice is due. Give justice where justice is due. And it's not always easy to do that. Some people are intimidated by other people that are good. Some people are intimidated by
So you tell me why you think trainers that certain trainers are celebrated when you look close at their CV.
Wait. We put the cart before the horse.
Okay, go ahead.
I asked the question, what did Freddie Roach do prior to Manny Pacquiao, and what has he done after that? What is the answer for that?
I think Ruben Guerrero's gone quiet.
I said Freddie Roach. I said he's got the trainer of the year 3 times. Based off of what? Off of what Manny Pacquiao did. So now it shouldn't be hard for him to make a, like Jay-Z said, you said you made me make another J. Jay-Z said, if you made me make another J. So if he made Manny Pacquiao what he was, then it shouldn't be a problem for him to make 2-3 more clones of Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, Ruben Guerrero hasn't responded yet, and I don't expect him to respond because there's no answer for the Freddie Roach thing, because that's it. A lot of people will celebrate fighters or celebrate trainers because the TV says celebrate them. But when you really look into it, Guerrero says Roach was given the award. He didn't ask for it.
Sure he was, but why? Why? He was given the award maybe 3-4 times. Why? Because of Manny Pacquiao. Did he get an award before Manny Pacquiao? I don't think so.
Okay, we could switch this even more so. In the UK, the year that Tyson Fury won the heavyweight championship of the world, he beat Vladimir Klitschko, the champion who had been reigning for 10 years. He didn't get Trainer of the Year, but Joe Gallagher won Trainer of the Year. And I don't believe that... Sorry. The year that Tyson Fury won the heavyweight championship of the world, beating Vladimir Klitschko, a guy who'd reigned for 10 years, Peter Fury should have won Trainer of the Year. Instead, Joe Gallagher won it, and I don't think any of his fighters fought at that level and won.
I can't hear you.
Okay. I said, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah.
The year Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, Peter Fury should have become Trainer of the Year because of Klitschko's CV and legacy. That year, Joe Gallagher won Trainer of the Year, and none of his fighters had fought at that level or beaten somebody of that caliber.
Well, the powers that be, again. The powers that be, they made a decision.
And we all know, a lot of people know why that is.
Joe Gallagher, who is Joe Gallagher? You see what I'm saying? Who is Joe Gallagher? You see where I'm coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is Joe Gallagher? If you don't tell me who Joe Gallagher is right now, I wouldn't know who he was.
He trains the Smith brothers. He used to train Scott Quigg. He's training Paul Butler now.
Does that supposed to mean something to me? Because it doesn't. I don't know him. I don't know him. And he got Trainer of the Year. You see that the people, the power that be, you got Iran Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Iran Barkley beat Tommy Hearns twice in his prime. Is he in the International Hall of Fame? I don't think so.
Mayweather responds. He says, "Trainer of the year is so granular. Obviously, their main fighter has to do with it while they're active."
Put your mouth to the phone and say it again.
He says, trainer of the Ruben Guerrero says, "Trainer of the year is so gradual. Obviously, their main fighter has to do with it while they're active."
That means nothing to me.
He's basically saying,
I think it's a bunch of malarkey. You know, the bunch of malarkey. You know, just some. I just don't understand it. You know, it's just a needless medal put on somebody.
but you should
like I said, you know,
it should be recognized. A trainer should be recognized for what they've done, though.
Losing me. When the whole situation, you're losing me. What I'm saying is that all this stuff is just appointments. Political influence is what put these guys there.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that Peter Fury, you know, that was a great achievement. Ugly fight, great achievement. If the fight had been graded, I think that Peter would have got the Trainer of the Year. But the fight was ugly in itself. I never watched the fight again. I think if the fight had been Fraser Ali, Larry Holmes, Norton, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, I think that Peter would have got the Trainer of the Year. I think they would have dubbed him Trainer of the Year if the fight had been a ball burn, if it had been a classic, but it wasn't a classic. It was an ugly fight.
But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and that's what they need to do. Get the win. Get out of Germany, get the win. That's it. Job accomplished.
Yeah, but the fight was still ugly. That's why they probably say, it's an ugly fight. But if the fight had been a ball burner, I'm certain it would have been.
But it's still unacceptable that.
He just won.
But how?
It's an ugly win.
But how? That doesn't make it acceptable that another trainer, that fighter wasn't anywhere near that caliber, or any of his stable anywhere near that caliber that year, or fighting a guy of that standard and winning, should get Trainer of the Year. When another trainer, has actually put his fight against the very best in the division, and some were considered an all-time great until Fury beat him.
Yeah, well, you got a point.
So
I can't argue the point.
There we go. So in future, let's talk about how we can move the sport forward. How would you move the sport forward then, Uncle? To make it more fairer and more people get the opportunity.
You know, I have to think about that. There's so many ways to approach that in answering that, you know, so I have to think about it. We have to talk about it another time. I have to sit back and weigh up the different things that can make this sport better.
I think that's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. Okay, Uncle, is there anything else you want to say before we finish?
No, I'm good.
Uncle,
Got me thinking now. My mind is thinking, and I'm sure we talk again. I'll have some answers to some of your questions, you know.
absolutely. I think we can complain and we can say, well, this is it, and we can say, well, this is the reason why in boxing we feel there's racism. But then we next step.
Your voice is too far away from the mic.
Okay, I say we can highlight the problems, but then now we need to put things in place to move things forward. We can highlight and say, yeah, there's racism here. Yes, there's discrimination here. Yes, there's imbalance here. Let's now do something. Let's build something to deal with that imbalance. Mayweather wasn't happy.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Mayweather, I tell you, Mayweather, a lot of people don't like him for his antics, things he said, things he's done. But the one thing I will say about him, he's a good businessman.
Absolutely.
He's a good business. He's trying paid handsomely for that fight, you know?
Okay.
Whether he's ready or not, it remains to be seen. But he can't argue with the payday he's going to receive for that.
Two final questions. The career of Adrian Broner and Carl Frampton against Nonito Donaire.
Carl Frampton against Nonito Donaire. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. That's a good fight. I think Nonito Donaire is trying to resurface. You know? So I don't know who's going to win that fight. But it's a good matchup.
Okay.
It's a very good matchup. But I don't know who's going to win that fight.
Okay. What was the other thing I asked you about? What was the other question?
All right. I'm spaced, man. It's Donaire Frampton. That's the thing that my mind locked in on.
There you go. That's next weekend.
Good fight.
So you have to look into that.
And where's that fight taking place at?
It's in the UK, in Ireland, I think. Northern Ireland, I think, probably. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, and Adrian Broner. That's it. Your thoughts on Adrian Broner before we close?
Adrian Broner versus who?
Jesse Vargas.
Oh, Jesse Vargas. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that fight. That's a tough fight for Adrian Broner. I'll tell you one thing. Adrian Broner, he doesn't shy away from those fights. He doesn't shy away from the big names. That's a tough fight for Adrian Broner. That's a really tough fight for Adrian Broner. Jesse Vargas is no leave, no bump, man. And he comes to fight, so that's a good, tough fight for Broner. Broner stays in the mix.
Vargas Thurman. Vargas Thurman.
Vargas Thurman?
Yep.
I like Thurman in that fight.
Okay, fair enough. Fine. Fair enough. All right. Uncle Bashir?
I think that people underestimate Keith Thurman. I think they underestimate Keith Thurman's boxing ability. I think they underestimate Keith Thurman's toughness. I think they underestimate Keith Thurman's punching power. I think he's going to prove people wrong in the near future.
Okay.
You know? Spence is a tough guy, but the welterweight division is shaping up and some good fighters are coming from it.
Okay, Uncle.
Good fighters coming out of that welterweight. And let's not count out, you know, all those other guys in the welterweight division. You know? Let's not count them out until they're out, you know?
Yep.
Tough guys out it. That welterweight division is starting to shape up as being the best division in boxing. Because a lot of good fighters are coming out of that welterweight. And I'll tell you somebody else you can't count out. Luis Colasso, you can't count him out.
Really?
No, you can't count Colasso out. He's a deadly puncher, and he got some boxing skills. And he's starting to have a resurgence. He's starting to feel himself again, you know? And I think he's going to give it another go at the top.
A final word.
Long story short, the welterweight division is shaping up to be one of the best divisions in the sport.
A final word on Amir Khan and his new trainer.
I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know. This is his third trainer. You know, I don't see the logic. You know, I don't see the logic, but maybe he does. You know, and as time goes on, we'll find out. This next fight he should win, but I don't see the logic in changing trainers. But like I said, he's the guy that's fighting, so he knows. You know, he's with the Joe Goosen from Virgil Hunter. He went to Virgil Hunter from Freddie Roach. So now, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't see the logic. You know?
Somebody just counted there and said here the ring fight of the last 4 years happened to be white. Okay, the ring fighter of the last 4 years happen to be white, their trainer has a good chance of being their trainer has a good chance of being trainer of the year. Does Uncle disagree with any of these? 2014 Kovalev, 2015 Fury, 2016 Frampton, 2017 Lomachenko.
I don't think that's racial. I think that's just good fighters. You know, those are good fighters. I don't think anything racial aspects have anything to do with that.
I would have put Andre Ward in there because he fought Kovalev twice.
He came out to the phone.
Sorry.
Somehow your phone stuffed it up.
I know. I would have said Andre Ward would have been in there because of the 2 fights he had with Kovalev back to back.
Yeah, but Kovalev was drinking alcohol and stuff, so that probably put a damper on that. You're not giving Kovalev the respect because he's always drinking. Or at least the report is that he was on alcohol. I think he himself said that he was on alcohol, you know?
Yeah.
So in other words, you're hustling people out of thousands of dollars and you're drunk. So that probably has something to do with your choice, you know?
Oh, yeah. And
Lomachenko and his dad, they deserve something. They've been through a lot.
What about Crawford? He became undisputed champion.
Yeah, that's a big achievement. That's a big achievement. Crawford becoming undisputed at 140. So yeah, they should have had him in there. You know, it's like I said, some things I might be overlooking, but other people are not overlooking it. And that's something to think about.
Of course. So
Crawford became undisputed champion.
There you go. Should have been fighter of the year.
I told you, man, if you look around, so there's a lot of improprieties there, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody even mentioned that. Nobody even mentioned that this guy became the undisputed champion at 140. When was the last time that there was an undisputed champion at 140?
Wow.
You know, yes. When was the last time that somebody said, okay, we got an undisputed champion at 140? I think that World Series of Boxing is a good thing for boxing because it cleans up a lot of mess. It puts the champions together and you come up with one champion. And if the organizations don't mess that up, then you got a good thing. If the organization don't go putting up like they're doing with Joshua, saying Joshua got to fight Povetkin. All of a sudden, you know, Povetkin wins 1 week, the next week they say, oh, he's got to defend against someone else. No, you do like they've been doing. You give Povetkin some money to step aside and let Deontay and AJ go at it. And you promise Povetkin the winner.
Okay. On the subject,
that's not unusual. That always happens.
On the subject of this is the last question of the night, and it's going to go to Wilder, to Luke Hendon, and he says, "Is Wilder ducking Anthony Joshua in your opinion?" Yeah, your thoughts.
Did you say Wilder ducking Anthony Joshua?
I didn't ask the question, but Luke did. That's Luke's question, and it's the final question of the night.
Okay. That's all right. Luke asked the question: is Anthony Joshua ducking Wilder?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. It could be business, and it could be that he's ducking him. You know, but enough is enough. You know, the people want to see these guys fight while they're in their primes. While they're in their primes, they want to see them fight. They don't want to see them fight past their primes when they've been knocked down and out a couple of times. They want to see them fight in their primes. I don't see what the problem is other than there's business.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he's doing it because of business. But time, he's cheating the fans out of good fights. You know? Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali fought. Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, they fought. Greg Bourne, Evander Holyfield, they fought, man. Come on, man, make the fight. I want to see AJ versus Deontay Wilder. I want to see it so bad. While they're in their primes, I want to see it. Deontay Wilder is screaming at the top of his lungs, give me AJ. Fans are looking at AJ saying, okay, AJ, come on up and do this here, man. You know? I mean, come on, let's make the fight, man.
Okay.
Why is it so hard to make these fights? Why is it so hard to make these fights happen? And the average fans ask that question. Why is it so difficult to put these guys together? And the fights of yesteryear, it took no time to put together. Because
somebody's going to lose out. Somebody's cash cow's somebody's going to lose out on money, and so therefore a promoter might not make the same money again afterwards.
Somebody's going to lose out on money. I tell you, who's going to lose out on money. Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's the one going to lose out on money, but Deontay has said, "Come on, let's fight." I heard that Deontay Wilder accepted the offer. I heard that he said, "Okay, I'll take the $12 million. Let's fight." Now let's see what's going to happen. The word is on the internet that Deontay Wilder has accepted all of the arrangements. He has taken the fight and says, okay, I want to fight. I'll take the $12 million. Let's fight.
Wow.
Now the ball is yeah. Yeah, go to the internet. It's on the internet. That Deontay Wilder has accepted all of the arrangements pertaining to the fight between him and Anthony Joshua. So now we got to see. The ball is in AJ's court. It should be no problem now because Wilder says, I'll take it. Let's just fight. So now if anything else comes up now, then we'll know that AJ don't want to fight.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure if you go to the internet right now, there's something there saying that Deontay Wilder has accepted all of the arrangements pertaining to the fight. And he says now, I'll accept the arrangements, let's fight.
Okay. Uncle, we're going to have to stop you there. Thank you so much, Uncle Bashir. We appreciate you. Do you have a final word?
Yeah. Keep your ears to the ground. Keep your ears to the ground and see what's out there.
Again, thank you.
For sure, if you keep your ears to the ground, you're going to see somebody land down.
Oh.
For sure.
Uncle, we need to give a shout out to the Ukrainian press and media who have taken their time. Ukrainian Boxing News, Sport UA, and a few others across the Ukraine for translating and.
Big up to my second home, Ukraine. Big up Ukraine. Big up. Yes. Big up.
A massive shout out to Eugene as well. Yeah, that's it. Uncle Bashir, thank you so much. We'll be in touch.
Yes, look forward to it.
Take care, Uncle. Later. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I think we've taken you through to almost 1:30 in the morning for you in the UK. For you in America, I think that's 8:30 for some of you, 8:39, 9 o'clock. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope it's been very informative. Real talk with Uncle Bashir there, which is what we want in the world of boxing. Call Abel now. I don't know if Abel's going to want to talk to me now, and I've got one bar on battery. So next, I'm going to try and get Rashidi Ellis in the next time I'll try and get an interview with Rashidi Ellis or try and get Abel Sanchez. As soon as we find out what's going on with GGG, then we'll know what's going to happen from that. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate you. This is it from me and BWTM Sports. As always, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. Have a great night or good evening. Take care.